Good evening. I now call this meeting to order. Secretary Tor, can you please take roll?
Vice President Abdul Salam. Senator Offaly. Senator Benitez. Senator Bradford. Director Williams. Senator Busen. Senator Coakley.
Senator Coakley from the College of Engineering and Engineering Technology, present.
Senator Crawford. Director Delaney.
Director of Academic Affairs, present.
Senator Duclair. Senate Lead Dykes. Senator Ellington. Senator Hasty. Senator Hale.
Senator of the Coles College of Business, present.
Treasurer Har.
Treasurer Har, present.
Senator Keller. Senate Lead Henry. Senator Hussein. President Keller.
President Keller, present.
Director Lopez.
Director of Internal Affairs, present.
Senator McGinnis. Senator Rahman.
Senator for the College of Science and Mathematics, present.
Senator Ray.
Senator of Fraternity and Sorority Law, present.
Senator Rumbaugh.
Senator for the Wellstar College of Health and Human Services, present.
Senator Snell. Senator Veeder. Director Watkins. Director Weiss.
Thank you. Is there a motion on the floor to approve the 55th meeting minutes? Motion by Director Williams. Is there a second? Second by Senator McGinnis. All in favor? Okay. All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion does pass. Now we are going to move into officer reports. First, I would like to introduce, please forgive me if I get this name wrong. Thank you. Veronica Trimmel, who is with the Duo for Students in UITS. She's going to keep us informed. So I'm excited to hear your presentation. We've got a mic over here for you, madam, if you'd like to take center stage when you're ready.
Good evening, and thank you for allowing me to come and present to SGA this evening. What I want to share with you, I'm hoping that all of you all are aware of Duo, the two-factor authentication. Duo two-factor authentication is going to be new to students. Beginning March 1st, all students will be required to use Duo two-factor authentication to access their KSU email, their Office 365, as well as Adobe Sparks. Beginning on March the 9th, we're moving through banner maintenance Duo to DegreeWorks, as well as AliExpress. And what that means is that registration for summer and fall 2019 classes will require you to have the Duo two-factor authentication activated. It's very, very important for us to get the communication out so that students don't run into any issues when it's time for registration on March 18th. We would really, really hate for students to wait for their time to get into the registration portal and don't have that dual two-factor authentication activated. So we would like for you guys, if you could, promote the information that we've been trying to let the students know, that this is required moving forward. As we go through the semester, there is another important date that I want to share with you, and that's Duo for D2L. That's going to happen on May 9th after the grades are due. So beginning after spring semester, you will now have to use Duo in order to get into D2L as well. Okay? Do you guys have any questions for me? No? Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you for that clarification, point of information. So now we are going to move to a presentation that I'm personally excited about. I know you guys got some pamphlets spread around. Let's make sure that everybody got a copy of those. Not sure if executive board did, so if we could just pass the extras back. This is Dr. Nandan, who is the Director of Strategic Partnerships and Social Impact. Thank you.
Good evening. Your previous presenter and I made sure that our names rhymed. Veronica, Monica. Not better. I'm Monica Nandan. I am the Director for Strategic Partnerships for the Wellstar College, and I'm grateful to my two senators here who made this event possible for me. I'm grateful to the Executive Board as well as the President for allowing me to come and present today. So today's presentation is not on curriculum. It's not an extracurricular activities at KSU. Today's presentation is on the third dimension, which is becoming very important on college campuses, and that is mental health. 30% of college students in the last year, in any given year, in the last 2-3 years, have been disabled emotionally, that they've not been able to function well. Okay? 10 to 15% of 10 to 15% of college campus students have thought of hurting themselves, not committing suicide, but hurting themselves. 43 million Americans have mental health issues. 1 in 5 children, teenagers, have mental health issues, and only half of them get access to care. 45,000 Americans committed suicide in 2016. And today, the expectation, life expectation in America is going down. We're going backwards. Our life expectation has been going up in the last 100 years. In the last 2 years, with the opioid epidemic, we're going backwards. So this is a crisis. If a quarter of our students on campus cannot function well in a given year, think about what's in this room right now. Yeah. And a quarter of you have been disabled because of where you are, because of the number of stressors you have. You are balancing more today than your grandparents did when they were in college, if they went to college, or your parents did. And technology is making that even more difficult because you're constantly bombarded. So what are we going to do about this today? In my humble opinion, and Wellstar College is behind this, because we believe welfare, emotional and physical welfare of college students is very important. So in the past, on Kennesaw Campus, we have never done a mental health awareness week or month. May 11th, please mark your calendars. It is right after grades are due. We are having a big event on this very campus, the first of its kind. Mental Health Awareness Day. Flyers are getting made as we speak. I would encourage the SGA to get the word out when the flyer is here. You will be exposed to speakers on mental health issues, on substance abuse issues. You will be exposed to assessment, basic assessment. Are you stressed? Are you depressed? Do you have signs of depression? What do you do next? And referral will be made for you. This will all happen in Pullman Hall from 9 to 1, May 11th. Please mark your calendar, put it on campus calendar if you have access to that, just to save the date. This is right after spring break. Reason being, not spring break, grades are due. Reason being, parking, access to facilities. SACS is coming to campus, as you all know, in March. But May is the Mental Health Awareness Month. And we need to do things like this on this campus. Enough is enough. We're losing too many kids in different shapes and forms. Dropout is big one, right? People drop out. They cannot handle it. Today, employers are screening you not just for your technical skills. They're screening you for two more things, if you're not aware, regardless of your major. They're screening you for working in teams, you like it or not. Next thing they're screening you for is how do you work under pressure. So if you break, which will come, and they've got different very high-end tools to assess how you do under pressure. So if you're not emotionally strong, employment is becoming an issue. And you all may have seen Governor Kemp has put a fair amount of dollars in mental health of school children. I don't know whether you all have seen that. $8.4 million is going into mental health for school children. So whether you're in school, whether you're in college, or whether it's employer, mental health is a major issue. Right? So I want to make you aware of that. Second thing after May 11th is in summer and next fall, we would like to partner with the SGA to do a basic assessment on this campus. How much do students know about mental health? Do they know how to recognize it? If you know your friend is not feeling right, even if you're feeling right, what do you do about it? So we want to do an assessment with your help so that tools on campus as well as in the mental health community can be made available to students. Okay, so we would like your help with that. Third thing we would like your help with is there are what, 200-300 clubs on campus, at least, give or take? How many times do you do activities that cut across all clubs? I'm posing a question. If we have to create impact, and you know one of our strategic priorities at Kennesaw is to create a community impact. So here's my humble request and a challenge to you all. Have the SGA or our life identify 5 topics that all clubs align their energy on. The impact on college campus and the community could be monumental, one of them being mental health of students. Every club needs to focus on that. Do something about awareness, initiatives, prevention. It's all about prevention and early identification. Because these two things don't happen, suicides and substance abuses are high. Okay? So I'm encouraging you to please consider the opportunity for clubs to collaborate on healthcare topics. Finally, there's a campus-wide initiative across many campuses in the US called Exercise is Medicine. I'm going to leave one piece of paper with the president. This is designed to engage universities and colleges and students, faculty, and staff in ongoing efforts for physical activity on campus to prevent chronic health conditions and promote physical health. So I'm going to leave the details with you. If you can think about it, talk about it, and let us know whether you would be interested. Our college would like to take the initiative in making Exercise is Medicine, our campus, ready for Exercise is Medicine. Thank you.
That was awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much for being here. So now we are going to continue with officer reports, beginning with our directors. So we're going to start with Director Delaney.
Hey guys, so first, don't forget that Fuel for Midterms is tomorrow. So on the Marietta campus, it's from 11 to 12, and then on Kennesaw, it's 2:30 to 3:30. Meet in the office or right outside the office, and we'll pass out free donuts to students and Scantrons, and we'll divide and conquer so we can offer this and get done as quickly as we can and get you guys back doing what you got to do. Also, there is a UPCC meeting tomorrow, so if anyone's interested, it'll be in Perlman Hall from 12:30 to 2. If you have any questions, I don't know the location off the top of my head, but I can get that information for you after the meeting. It's a great meeting. I really highly recommend you coming, and it's right in between both Fuel for Midterms, so you can come. Fuel for Finals, I'm working on the debates. I'm sorry, I'll get to you. Sorry, I just like, sorry. Fuel for Finals, we're working on the dates. We have some really great things planned for you guys, so please be on the lookout. You're not going to want to miss this. And so for elections, we have our presidential debates coming up on Monday. It'll be at 7 p.m. in Social Science 1021, the big auditorium. So please come learn about the people that are running to be in charge of this governing body next year, and kind of see what they have to offer. And you can talk to them after the meeting, kind of get all your questions answered, see what they're doing. So yeah, you guys have any questions? Do you have a question? Okay. All right. Yes.
Senator McGinnis, I was just wondering, what time is that again?
It's at 7 p.m. It'll be 7 to 9. And it'll probably take the majority of the time due to our field of candidates that we have. So, all right, end of report.
Looking forward to that debate. Now let's move to who's closest to me. Let's do JJ, Director Lopez.
Hey guys, first I want to thank you all again for entrusting me in this new position. I've been loving it and we've been getting a lot done, so let me go ahead and jump into this. It's going to be a little bit, it's going to be a lot, but I promise you my future ones won't be as bad. So I just want to stress again, the retreat is going to be March 9th. It is mandatory, so please, 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 if you have a job, if you have any other prior commitments, please go ahead and schedule off or do whatever you need to do. If you absolutely cannot come, make sure you email Secretary Tor and let her know as soon as possible with a valid excuse. It will not be in the UV rooms anymore. It will probably be upstairs in the Commons because the UV room was reserved by the swing dancers, so let them do their thing. And we'll do ours in the Commons. Don't ask me how, but we're gonna be able to eat lunch for free in the Commons, so that's a plus. And it will be led by Judy Craven, who is a director of leadership development. So we will definitely have somebody from outside of SGA leading us, and hopefully we leave with more than we had coming in. So I did attend the academic calendar committee, and just the biggest thing that we were trying to figure out is, do we want students, or do they want students to either have school start earlier in the fall and we have more breaks, or do we want to start later and still have the one Thanksgiving break, and then that kind of thing. I did put a poll up, and then the results said we want to start later in the summer and have our one break and be good with that, which surprised me because I was kind of on the other side. But moving on, I met with Tracy Sadford. You've heard Treasurer Har talk about her a good bit. Pretty much, she just said that the attendance for events is not matching the money spent, so we need to be using card readers at our events. And then also just no last minute requests for money. She said at least 3 days in advance. I met also with pretty much the entire student activities board, so there's like Tanya McPherson, Matthew Mitchell, people like that. So a few things. They want us to have more support for on-campus events. They're saying, you pay for these events with your student fees, show up to at least a few of them. Also, it looks good on SGA if we are going and supporting our university. So we need to be more informed on policies and procedures, specifically with like SABAC and things like that. They want us to be like the liaison between SABAC and the student. So if we are able to communicate the policies and procedures better, not even just with SABAC, but with RSOs in general, they would love that. And then homecoming committee will be formed next month. If you were interested, please let me know. They are going to be a lot stricter next year with homecoming committee because of like some issues we had last semester. So like for example, President Witten will be more involved with the committee, things like that. So if you're interested, please let me know. And the last thing with this one is that they will be having a marketing focus group. So if you're good at marketing, a way to reach the students, please come and talk to me because that's going to be happening within the next few weeks. So yeah, I met today with Drew Harville. A lot of you guys probably know him. He's big on Marietta campus, and that's one thing that I need to do because I'm not very familiar with Marietta. It's my first year, and also I'm here all the time on Kennesaw campus. So it was with Vincent, and pretty much the biggest things, they're having an open house on Saturday. We need to be there. I'm going to be there, and I have a few of you, maybe one or two of you want to come with me. We want to wear our polos, represent SGA, give out some merch, then that would be great. The time commitment is only from 10:30 to 2, and we're not going to be doing like tabling. It's going to be us playing games with incoming freshmen, things like that. So it's not going to be boring. And then he gave me a lot more events and things like that. Just to go into my next topic, I'm going to be putting up an events dry erase board in the office so that we can see what events are coming up. We also are going to be implementing a attendance requirement, not requirement, but if you say you're going to go to an event, for example, like the town hall we had Tuesday, if, for example, Emma's like, I'm going to go to that. Her name is now written down, and she is required to go to that. If she cannot go, then she will have to either find a replacement or she will get a demerit. This is so that we always have a presence in the events that we need. I'll take questions at the end. And then the committee, the Internal Affairs Committee has met. The biggest thing, we have an Andretti's retreat on the 13th. We'll be at Marietta on that day, so for the meeting, and then we can go straight there. It's really close. And then because the Director of External Affairs, Director Weiss, isn't here, I'm going to go ahead and announce this. But there has been a hate crime bill. It's called Hate Crimes HB 2426. Some of us got the email for it. That's being passed. It's trying to be passed. So this is a direct quote from the email. The bill has passed out of the House Judiciary Non-Civil Committee and is ready to be heard on the House floor. So it's a bill that would allow penalties for crimes committed to be punished versus if it's on bias or prejudice. So this is a big deal. I know the student body has really been pushing that, policy be changed, policy be changed. So this is one step in that direction. So if you want that email forwarded to you, or do you want more information, please come to me. Also, if you want to talk to Director Weiss, he's probably more versed in the subject than I am. You had a question.
Senator McGinnis, Senator for Non-Traditional Students.
In regards to people attending the events you were talking about, would this be on a volunteer basis if possible, like making sure people's schedules fit?
Yeah, it would be if, like, example, like we have an event coming up and I said, oh, I want to go to that. I'll go represent SGA. Now I am now committed to that. I have to either find someone to replace me or take a demerit if I can't go. It's just so we have accountability and that we always have a presence at every event. Yeah. Any other questions? Thank you. End of report.
Thank you. What a great way to get started. Now we're going to go to Director Williams.
Hey guys, so just for my report this week, I just wanted to address the Senate and let you guys know that I'll be sending out emails before I issue demerits and strikes. And that is just to give you the courtesy to remind you guys, I don't want it to be taken in a negative way. I'm very clear in my emails. If I'm giving you a demerit or a strike, it would say that. Like I said, I'm just being courteous. So if you do get an email from me, it's just to be courteous. And we do several reminders during the general body meetings, but I know a lot of us are busy and things slip our minds, but I'm here to hold you guys accountable, so that's just me giving you another warning. That's all I had to say on that, and I guess we'll be voting on governance later, and I just want you guys to come in here with clear hearts and minds so that we can get this thing started. End of report.
Thank you. Let's go to Director Watkins.
Okay, hey everybody. So, excuse me. My communications committee had a meeting yesterday. It was really productive. So we're still moving full force on our Go Vote campaign, which is essentially the video, the promotional video geared toward increasing notoriety of SGA and encouraging students to vote. We'll be getting a lot of the footage for that video tomorrow. Our plan is to have it finished or get all the footage for it by the end of the week so that we can start the editing process and release the video on March 11th when voting opens. Next thing, our poetry night is going to be Wednesday, March 20th from 7 to 9 in the Loft Lounge. People still have until March 3rd to submit, to put in submissions and inquiries. So reach out to your constituents or your friends or even yourself if you want to perform. Y'all need to talk to me about that. Auditions will be held starting March 4th through 6th so that we can orient how the flow of the performances will go. There will be a live band, and we have a headliner whose name is Tim the Poet. Other upcoming events, Carly will talk a little bit more about it, but on March 7th, there'll be an event that's entitled KSU Unity Experience. And then, as Director Delaney mentioned, Feel for Midterms is tomorrow. So can y'all please post the flyer for it's been dropped in the business chat, but I will put it in there again so that y'all can post it for your constituents so they know about it. Yep, okay, end the report.
Thank you. Now we're going to move into the Senate leads. Start with Senate Lead Dykes.
Senate Lead Dykes. Hi, everyone. The biggest thing coming up for y'all is, of course, officer reports. Those are due tomorrow night on Owl Life. For our new senators, you all should have been given access to Owl Life. I believe you're all on there, but if anybody is having any problems accessing it, please let me know and we can get that sorted out. We have made a couple changes to the form for officer reports, so please give that a look over before you submit it. It's nothing drastic, just like a brief description of what we are expecting from your officer reports. The biggest change is that you have to include a description of what your campus engagement was this month, because that's how we're keeping track of what everybody's done. Since so many of you are taking advantage of our opportunities that don't necessarily require you to fill out the room reservation form, it can be a bit tricky managing where everyone is. So make sure that is in your officer report so that you can get credit for doing your event. In addition to that, you need to include any meetings you attended, committee meetings, any projects you're working on, that kind of basic stuff. And again, that information is all in the description on the form on Owl Life, so just give that a quick read before you submit your report. Also, one-on-ones for next month. The sign-up will be going out in the GroupMe very soon, so just keep an eye out for that. If you have not yet signed up for a one-on-one for February, come talk to me after the meeting because you have one more day, so we'll need to figure something out. End of report.
Senator Lead Henry. She pretty much tagged on it, but I want to say thank you to the Marietta senators that I've met with in the past 2 weeks for the ideas that were pitched for making us more distinguished in the Student Center, and also allowing me to get an eye on your projects, and then hopefully we can get those implemented within the next few weeks. End of report.
Hey guys, how are you? I'm gonna start with a quick overview of the work I've done the last couple months. The first order of business was getting all new members of the executive board up to date on paperwork and background checks so that they may be hired by the university and receive their stipend at the end of the semester. Those individuals included Senate Lead Henry, Director for Internal Affairs Lopez, Secretary Tor, and then Director of Communications Williams. The next order of business I encountered this semester was the Stipends Committee. As you know, we had put together a Stipends Committee, and upon further review, we wanted to make it more known to everybody, so we sent out an application. We got a lot of applicants, so thank you for everyone who applied. The committee is currently formed as Senators Samuel Afay, Bailey Veeder, Bisma Hussein, and Vanessa Benitez, and President Keller. Our first meeting was February 20th. It went really well. Everyone's up to date on their information and knows their responsibilities for the rest of the semester. Another duty I carried out as treasurer included all Student Activities Budget Advisory Committees, SABAC for short. Those meetings were the 16th of January, the 13th of February, and today we had one. We viewed over 25 requests from numerous organizations over the past 2 months. Everything from Miracle at KSU to KSU Halil's Israel Fest. I know students are really looking forward to the camel on the green again. That's a popular thing. And on a SABAC note, annual budget requests for RSOs are due March 29th at noon. So if any of your constituents include RSOs, please let them know that that is the last day and there won't be any further extensions. SABAC will be hosting discussion sessions to help RSOs plan and create their annual budgets, and those sessions are Monday, March 4th from 5 to 7 on the Marietta campus, Wilson Student Center room A214. Tuesday, March 5th, 2019, 5 to 7 p.m. on the Kennesaw campus, Perelman Hall, room 1002. Thursday, March 7th, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. on the Marietta campus, Atrium Building, room J201L. And then Friday, March 8th, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on the Kennesaw campus, and that will be Burris Building, room 109. The last item I'd like to discuss in my report is essentially the budget. I've got a presentation right here for you guys, so if you want to follow along, go ahead. So our FY19 request, I showed this last semester, and I just wanted to kind of keep it fresh in y'all's minds because our annual budget request will be coming up again, so the executive board will be hard at work preparing our FY20 budget. For the FY19 allocation, we received $23,000 and then $90. And then all of our spending as of today is $10,860. So that's what we have left, if you want to go to the next slide. So this kind of has the amounts that we started with, and then everything in yellow is what we've spent. So kind of going down the list, Macy planned the retreat last fall. The total came out to $1,623.80. For programs and services, of course, there were a lot of senator forums last semester and this semester, which accounted for $1,668. Included in that number under programs and services, I also included Director Weiss's Coffee with Cops and President Keller's Meet the President events. Fuel for finals, we don't have the second one, so we only spent $250 on the fall semester. That means Director Delaney has the remainder left in her budget for this fuel for finals. Fuel for midterms is a little different. That number actually includes both, so we were completely under budget for that, and shout out to Director Delaney for that. I'm sure she's going to go all out for fuel for finals, and we've got some things planned for that. So I've mentioned this before, I'll say it again, but as of now, from this moment forward, there will be no polos or uniforms provided by SABAC or SABAC's funding, which in turn is our funding and our budget. So we need to come up with a plan to either get cheaper polos that members can afford or say goodbye to polos forever. Something that we can use, our promotional budget, it says promo t-shirts. We could potentially use promotional t-shirts and use those while also giving them out at senator events and any events that the executive board plans as well. Stipends, last semester stipends totaled was $4,660.45. This semester's TBD per the stipends committee. And then the last thing on the list is supplies. That number right there includes some very small gavels we got for President Keller and some Scantrons ordered by Senator Rahman. If you want to go to the next slide. So again, our overall budget was listed at the top there. Some expenses just in words, if you're not a numbers person, is right there. Retreat, senator forums, meet the president, coffee with cops, homecoming, fuel for finals, fuel for midterms, replacement name tags, fall stipends, business cards, promo items, and office supplies. All of that spending was $10,860, so that was actually correct on the first slide. And our current budget is $12,229.40. Some upcoming expenditures that we're going to have. I hope you all have senator events planned for this semester and each month. Fuel for finals that Director Delaney is putting on. The stipends committee will get back to you guys with the e-board stipends. And President Keller and I are working closely with Ron to discuss conference costs for the FY20 year. And then some promotional items and office supplies might be in the works as well. So on that note, some SABAC related things. Our upcoming meetings are March 20th and April 17th. Usually we just view supplementary requests throughout the year. Around this time of year, though, we're going to start looking at annual budget requests, is what I mentioned earlier. If you want, we're going to have these budget discussions. Here are those dates I listed off earlier if you want to mark them down. They're going to be really informative and really important to your constituents to help them really understand what we're trying to do and simplify the process of budget. And then for you guys, some personal information. Like I said, I want to see some senator events and forums that use money. To do so, you will go to www.owllife.kennesaw.edu, click on the SGA money request form, fill this out at least 2 weeks prior to your event date, so once you need the money. Once approved, you'll go to the 3rd floor of the Student Center and talk to Tracy. Either get reimbursed for your purchase, which is the preferred method of paying for events, or agree on another form of payment that's mutually agreed upon. And reimbursement forms can be found in either SGA office. Please make copies of those because there's only one in each office right now, and then just leave the original. Anybody have any questions? Senator Coakley.
Senator Coakley, so SABAC right now, they're going through the process of like kind of reforming how they want to classify RSOs and things of that nature, and how they want to like leave that up to them or whatever. I was wondering when it's going to be finalized on what the new method will be.
That's an excellent question. So right now, we have submitted a list of recommendations that the Vice President of Student Affairs, Dr. Casey White, will take a look at, the legal team will look at, and I think at some point or another, the Board of Regents gets to look at it. And we have submitted that, so as far as our duties go, we'll let you know when we hear back. But that can be a very lengthy process. Any other questions? All right, thank you.
All right, Secretary Tort.
Hi guys. So earlier this week I sent out 2 different Google forms in the GroupMe for Marietta and Kennesaw offices. I'm trying to get more office supplies. We're severely lacking in a lot of things, and I want your guys' ideas of what you think we need, or even if it's something we've had in the past that we don't have anymore, or we need extras that we already have. Please fill out those forms. Only a couple people have. I really want to get as much as we need and as we can, so please do that. My second note is most people should know this, if not for new senators as well. In both of the offices, please do not throw away food in the trash cans. We've had an ant problem in the past, so please take your food waste and throw it in the trash cans outside of the offices. Lastly, I have been having some issues lately with people who either can't be in attendance for meetings or other things, not talking to me about that. If you have an absence or you can't be somewhere, please email that to the secretary email. It's ksusecretary@gmail.com because I need to keep that for my records. End of report.
Thank you. I would like to echo that please email the secretary. I appreciate your text messages, but please email the secretary because she is in charge of that. So, hi. Now you get my report. Buckle up. I've had a fun week and a half or 2 weeks since I've seen you. Just jump right in. Okay, so the Friday after I saw you, February 15th, Director Weiss and I attended the SGA Day at the Capitol. It's the SAC Day at the Capitol, where all of the presidents from all of the USG universities come, like all the presidents of SGA come and we meet with legislators, we meet with each other. It was very informative. If you would like to learn more about that, I actually have the agenda and a couple pieces of information I can share with you if that sparks your interest. It was a wonderful opportunity. I'm very thankful for it. I will be attending, as Treasurer Hart alluded to, the President's SAC conference in March at the Coastal College of Georgia. So I'm excited. Agenda is to be announced. Thank you, Baxter. So also in continuation, I attended the Athletics Association meeting, which was with President Witten and the Athletics Director, Milton Overton, to discuss the current budget and financial standings of the athletic department and their like what we've currently accomplished and what we have planned for the future. So again, if you'd like to look at that agenda and talk to me about anything that we covered, please come to me. That also includes those in the audience as well. I've also been asked to, along with Tariq, who is not here tonight, asked to join the committee for football student attendance, which is awesome. This committee is designated specifically to focus on how to increase ticket sales for the football. Our first meeting is Monday, March 4th. So if you have any ideas for me, any creative ideas you'd like me to share with the committee, along with the athletic director, please let me know. Then I also met with the campus services leadership, which is all of the department heads of the campus services team that serve both Kennesaw and Marietta. That's everyone from the culinary department to the housing department. And that was amazing. So basically the objective for the meeting was for me to meet with the panel and on the committee. One of our committee members is actually here, which is exciting. So to meet with the committee and just kind of show them my face and then also receive feedback from them. One of the biggest things that they expressed to me that I'd like to share with all of you and plant a seed, because I've already got one growing. I want to hear what you think. They want to know how we can better reach out to your constituents. So put your feelers out and start asking your classmates how they like to receive information from campus services. Simple question is that. Pick a new friend in your class and ask them, and then let me know. Then I also attended the SAVAC meeting and the stipends committee meeting, which both were fun. I enjoyed every part of each of them. I know Treasurer Hart talked about both of them, so I'll just keep going. Then I attended the wonderful Senator Benitez and Director Weiss event last week, and I was just beyond proud of how that event took place. I missed those of you that were not there. You missed a good time. It was great information, great environment, and it was just, I hope we can do that again. Along with that, I always meet with Ron, probably like 6 times in the last couple of weeks, just about various things. One in particular was to discuss the budget with Stephen. So I then attended the co-ord meeting last week, and I'm not sure if you guys heard the results from that meeting. If you have further, more specific questions, I will take them after my report. But basically, this meeting was with members of the C-suite. So the Chief Legal Officer, Chief Human Resources Officer, the Dean of Students was there, several others, the Deputy Chief Police Officer, all from all spectrums, to express, to share with students how basically things are portrayed after an incident, how each department takes care of it. This meeting then turned into a very productive conversation with the students about their dissatisfaction and frustration with the university. And I felt that it was extremely productive hearing all of their comments and having the opportunity to voice these frustrations to the administration. I then connected with each of those students that was in attendance at the meeting. And most of the students were also at the town hall that took place last week too. So I'm in contact with those students on a personal note. They have my cell phone number, and also have encouraged some of them to come tonight, which some of them are here, which is awesome. Hey, Justice. So going forward, how that is going to look, and again, I will take questions after my report. Several of those students have asked us to, and here they come in, some of them, hey guys. Several students have asked us to support them in this cultural time on our campus. So in the GroupMe, I put in that I know Director Watkins talked about it, we're co-sponsoring an event next week, ladies and gentlemen. It's gonna be awesome. So we are partnering with ASA and other student organizations. I've sent out the notification to anyone and everyone I could get in touch with. If you know of a student organization that would like to be a part of this and sponsor it, please let me know. I have the flyer here, and I will drop it in the GroupMe and also email it to you because I'm going to blow your phones up with it so you all are there. There are going to be 2 events, one on the Kennesaw campus and one on the Marietta campus. So everyone is included. This is called KSU Unity Experience, a Night of Healing. So next Thursday, March 7th at 7 p.m., I will get you the time for the Wednesday event on Marietta. We're still working on that. But this will be held in the University Room C, where the objective for this event is everyone is welcome. I want to see every person that walks this planet there. And it is an opportunity for us to come together as a community and as humans first to heal together and talk about some of the cultural stress that our university has felt over the last couple of weeks publicly. However, this is something that's taken place for a long time. So if you have questions about the event, please ask. I'm really excited about it. There's going to be sticky notes and color coding involved and lots of really good speakers, so it's going to be great. And I'm going to keep going. I got a lot more to tell you. So in light of that, last Friday, I spent time with Dr. Koger, who is a special assistant to the president on the Marietta campus. So I spent the entire day on the Marietta campus. I talked with Dr. Koger and after the co-ord meeting, and I wanted to interview the Marietta students to see how they are interpreting and what they have heard and how their campus culture has been affected by the cultural stress that we felt. So I met with dozens of students that day, and faculty and staff and anyone I could talk to on a Friday afternoon. And what I learned is that the Marietta students want to feel included. I know that in talking and learning about the Marietta campus, they do express and interpret information a little bit differently than we do on the Kennesaw campus. So both campuses have different needs. So we as SGA need to learn more about how we can cater to those needs best. And I can share with that if you have further questions. So in continuation, my day on the Marietta campus, I met with Judy Craven, who is going to be part of our retreat. She's the Director of Leadership and Development. When I tell you she's a ball of fun, she's a ball of fun. She is going to come in on our retreat and get personal with you guys, and I'm excited about it. It's going to be team bonding and development for each of you, which you know I'm passionate about. So get ready, buckle up. Then I also met with Amanda Long, who is in the Department of Career Development. She is also going to be speaking to you at our retreat, and I want to reiterate that these speakers are coming for your development. So a lot of times when we meet, we're talking about the constituents, but as you know, I'm very passionate about you in your development and establishing a good leadership profile for you so you can be confident going out into your constituents. So I have a couple flyers here. I've got the event guidebook for career planning and development. If you want to look at events they have, it's also online via the internet, but I also want to shout out that they've got a couple awesome things going on within the next couple of weeks for you too that I will share further in announcements. So, in continuation, today was a pretty fun day for me. I was interviewed by the Board of Regents. They were doing an assessment on the police department here on campus. So what I want you to get from this bullet point in my report is that every couple of years, the Board of Regents comes and does an assessment on the police department to make sure that they are serving you. So they asked me some pretty tough questions on how the police department is performing and what they can do better and et cetera. So what I want you to know is that you've got some pretty important people that are passionate about you and your safety too. So I would like to update you on what is coming up on my schedule. I'll spare the homework part because I forget I'm a student. But so this Friday is going to be an awesome day. I'm speaking at the KSU Foundation Board of Trustees on behalf of those students and myself that received the GAP scholarship this last semester to thank the Board of Trustees. I'm also meeting again with ASA and the Cultural Department to finalize the information for our events next week. So please watch the group me. I will drop in some final flyers there. I'm also meeting with President Witten on Friday too. So if you have anything that you would like from me from the Senate to bring to her, please let me know. I know there were a few of you that wanted to put something on my agenda last time, but you didn't email me, so you got to email me. Email me. Thank you. I'm going to forget if you just tell me. We also have KSU Miracle this Saturday. Who's excited? I'm pumped. Yeah, for those of us that are going, it's going to be a lot of fun from 12 to 12. There will be food there and dancing and really cute kids, so I'm excited to be with you guys then. Unity events next week, committee meeting on Monday. We've got the debate Monday. I also have the student technology fee committee meeting on the 7th, and then we have our retreat on the 9th, and then our other retreat on the 13th. So I'm excited to bond with you guys the next week. We're going to hang out a lot. Are there any questions to the 100 bullet points I just alluded to before I move on? I will get to the on-aids in a minute. Awesome. Okay, so now we are going to go into open forum, and this is when we get to hear from all of you. So please use this time to brief your Senate and audience on what are some things that you've been up to. This is SGA related. Senator Ray.
Okay, so tomorrow in the Greek Life office, FSL, second floor Student Center, I'm going to have my campus out engagement event. So we're going to be in the conference room in the back. All you got to do is like walk in and go straight. You'll meet me. And I'm going to have snacks. It's going to be whatever I wake up and want in the morning. So it's from 1 to 3, but we may cut it up early so everybody can go to fuel for midterms. So we're going to go from 1 to 2:30 now. There's a TV, so we might chill. We're going to have a suggestion box, talk about Greek life a little bit, maybe watch some Netflix if we have to, just to engage how we have to. So I feel like that's something students would actually do, like just chill, watch TV, and talk about life. So that's it. Appreciate it.
Senator McGinnis.
Senator McGinnis, Senator for Non-Traditional Students. Hi, guys. Sorry for pulling out the phone. It's easier to get the information off of it. So there was a recent Adult Learning Committee meeting. We have those monthly. In the most recent ones, we were talking about the price points for prior learning assessment. As some of you know, we've had discussions before. This applies to the audience as well, applies to all students. For a brief overview, prior learning assessment is when you can kind of often what you think of when, oh, hey, I did AP exams, or I can test out of this because I know the language, I spent years there, but I want to test up. Those kinds of things where you have the experience, but it goes beyond that. It also has to do with life experience, work experience, and those kinds of things that are relevant. It's especially relevant for adult learners, but not just adult learners. The point being is that we were discussing the price points because we were expanding prior learning assessment to more than just credit by exams. We're going to have performances, portfolios to apply to a diverse group of majors and not just those that can be done by exam. The current thought process that is not finalized yet, but just an update, we're currently thinking that credit by performance might be, credit by portfolio would be the most expensive at $250. This does not guarantee credit. These are to be reviewed. It's based on the amount of time and effort people would have to spend in order to evaluate your work. So credit by portfolio is currently potentially standing at $250, which would be the max. Credit by performance, like, you know, music and theater, $150, exams, $60, and then a licensure certification. Some people come in with things like for education majors, the CDA, if you're birth through kindergarten, it's a child development certificate you can get. Those kinds of things would be more like $30 because that doesn't take as much time to review. So that's just a current thought process. It's not finalized. I'll let you know when we have a final price point, but just to give you an idea of where we stand.
That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, Senator Coakley.
Okay. Senator Coakley, just a little bit of an overview of the things that I've gotten into since the last meeting. The Thursday and Friday following that meeting, there were video interviews for the dean candidates, 8 to 5, Thursday and Friday. 10 candidates came in, 4 came out. They'll be on campus next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and the following Monday, so the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 11th. The next Tuesday, I was I was at a aerospace lab opening on Marietta campus. They were celebrating like a lab opening. It was cool. There were like some people that worked in the industry and people that were veterans essentially in the aerospace industry. There was an engineering week luncheon that I attended, and Dr. Witten was there, all the professors and stuff like that. There were some awards given out, all that good stuff. Intern committee meeting, that was Saturday, this past Saturday. We essentially went into more detail on what we want to do with that committee. I went to that SABAC meeting virtually. That was cool. We also met with Drew Harville, as JJ mentioned. That was also cool. Kind of a big update. There are 8 new classes that may be in the Southern Polytechnic College of Engineering and Engineering Technology following final review. And they want to bring the electrical engineering masters on campus. That's it.
Awesome. I want to know more about those classes. Not that I could ever take them, but it's cool. Anything further for open forum? I know you guys have been busy. Tell me. Hi. Yeah. Senator Hussein.
Senator Hussein, Director Weiss and I set a meeting with Jennifer Test, who is the manager of Student Center Operations on the Marietta campus. So that meeting is set to be next week. Hopefully we don't have to reschedule. And after that meeting, we are hoping to be one step closer to a quiet reflection room on the Marietta campus. That was a huge project. And then aside from that, Director Weiss and I, again, we represented SGA at the town hall meeting last week. We pretty much just heard all the students' concerns and tried to address them to the best of our ability. And we want everyone to know that we are here to help. I'm here to help. We're all here to help.
Thank you. Anything further for open forum? I thought I saw another hand over here. Oh, I know you guys have been busy. Nothing? We'll get to you in a minute. Okay. All right. Now we are going to move into new business. And to begin this segment of the meeting, I would like to call up all of the new governance appointments to center stage. So those of you, oh, just kidding. Director Williams is going to tell you.
Okay, hello everyone. Okay, I just wanted to let you guys know, like, per the bylaws for governance to start, we have to have an executive board member outside of myself and 2 senators. Yes. 3 senators. I'm sorry, I miscounted. We will be I'll appoint 2 new senators in my executive board this evening. And so for executive board, I had Treasurer Har. The 2 senators will be Senator Snell and Senator Hale. Senator Snell was not here last meeting to get sworn in, so I wanted to give him that opportunity to be here, and you guys can all re-vote on him since he's present, so we can get started. If I can have you guys come up.
So hey, if we could just get you guys a mic. I don't know if there is another. Okay, awesome. This is just going to be like the last meeting in honestly, guys, in every meeting that we've had this semester, we've sworn people in. So this is great. We're getting good practice. So if you guys could face the Senate and tell them why you feel you are fit for this position. I'm excited to hear it.
Good evening, Senate. Senator Snell. I feel like I'm a pretty good fit for this position just because I've been able to kind of sit back and watch how the Senate operates. I've noticed a couple of faults that go on within the Senate that I was able to see because I'm not very wordy and very spokative when it comes to different debates and things that's going on. Then as far as the bylaws go, I feel like there are certain aspects of the bylaws that make it a little tricky to understand. And I feel like it takes a little bit more of I guess it's just like looking deeper into it, to look deeper into the bylaws and really be able to understand what's in there.
Senator Hale, sorry. Just to build off of that a little bit too, through governance, I definitely like to add a little bit of clarity and detail to the bylaws and constitution so we can have a more effective set of guidelines. And from a new perspective, I think I can, well, sorry. I think I could add a new perspective to governance since I will recognize I am fairly new to SGA. And thank you.
Hey guys, Treasurer Har. So to put it into perspective for everyone, I think the number of times that I personally have had to read over the bylaws in the last 2 months are more hands than I can count in this room. Just from one quick read, you can kind of tell a lot is missing. There's certain instructional things for forming committees that I personally had to deal with, removal of officers that we all had to deal with, and other issues that aren't explicit in the Constitution that could be added or better worded. I like to think that I represent all of the executive board really well. I work well with all of them. I listen to all of their opinions, and I think that I can bring my opinion to the table as a representative of the executive board.
Okay, so now are there any questions for these individuals? Senator Coakley.
Senator Coakley, this is a question specifically for Senator Hale. You mentioned you're wanting to join governance as being clarifying the Constitution. There's a committee that's dedicated specifically to that, and I wondered what you want to do outside of that.
Wait, can I have you repeat the question? Because did you understand?
Yeah.
I didn't understand, so can you repeat it one more time?
Okay, cool. So Senator Hale, she mentioned her main reason for wanting to join governance as being wanting to clarify the Constitution, and I was saying that there's a committee dedicated specifically to that, so if you could expand possibly.
Yes, so I am technically still on the ad hoc committee, which will be working on the Constitution and bylaws. That's not necessarily the only reason I would want to join governance, obviously. The reason I want to join governance is I see that there's a huge problem with the clarity of the bylaws and the Constitution that we need to fix. We need to add some detail to it so we can have a better set of guidelines. Sorry for the confusion.
Thank you, Senator Hale. Any further questions? Anybody? Okay. You guys, could you please step out? Can somebody get that door, please? Ah, beautiful. Senator Snail's on top of it. Okay, guys. So now let's go ahead, and if there any further discussion on the floor before Senator Ray.
Question for all of us: who passed the voting last week? Was it just Senator Brand? Yeah, Benitez. Okay, so going into that, I like all three of them. I think they'll be great. But I do want to say this time going around, I would like to vote on each one individually, just because in the past we've kind of struggled with voting on one as a thing. So I think it would run more smoothly going like that.
Sounds good. Any further discussion on the floor? Senator Coakley.
Senator Coakley, just for clarification, as it stands, there are 2 senators. Are you adding 2 more senators to governance?
Senator Brand resigned this afternoon.
Oh.
So Senator Hale is now taking his place on this committee. Does that answer your question?
Okay, cool, thank you.
And or Senator Snail. We gave you options. Director Watkins.
Hey, so I know a major thing last time that happened was that Senator Snell wasn't here, and so aside from that, a lot of y'all don't know him because he's so soft-spoken. Aside from him just being a really nice human in general, he is very hardworking and very determined, very strong-willed in like a positive way. He serves on my committee for communications, and I have a blast working with him because he's great and he's just such an amazing worker. We get a lot done. So I understand that he's not talkative, but not being very outspoken doesn't mean you're not a diligent worker.
Thank you, Director Watkins. Any further discussion? Okay, so now I would like to see if there is a motion on the floor to approve the candidates individually. Say it.
I motion to approve all 3 of these candidates individually.
Is there a second? Second by Senator Hussein. All in favor? All opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, this motion does pass. We are approving the candidates individually. So let's run down the list. Let's start with Treasurer Har. All in favor of Treasurer Har serving on the Governance Committee? All opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, this motion does pass. Treasurer Har is approved. Now let's go with Senator Hale. All of those in favor of Senator Hale serving on the Governance Committee? Okay, all opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, this motion does pass. So far we have Treasurer Har and Senator Hale. Now let's go into Senator Snell. All in favor of Senator Snell serving on the Governance Committee? All opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, this motion does pass. Could you please let the members back in? Welcome back, everyone. You have all been approved for the Governance Committee. You do not have to say this beautiful clause. You are now free to return to your seats. You guys can now start working with Director Williams on the Governance Committee. Thank you, thank you, thank you for what you will do for this organization and the students. So now I would like to point to my 2 appointees in the audience for the Coles College of Business. Can you guys please come forward? You know who you are. Hi, guys. Be nice to them. Hi. Welcome. Okay, so you know me as your president and friend, Carly. Nice to see you. So now, as I told you, we're going to turn the table. And you are going to just speak to the Senate a little bit about yourselves. Tell them your name, your major, and then tell them why you feel you are best fit. And also tell us when you're graduating, please. There's your mic. This is a good group, so don't be scared.
Hi, my name's Dalton Grando. I'm an accounting major. Right now I'm aiming towards spring of 2020. That'd be the normal 4-year track for me, but you know how it is. Course overload, I might push it back a year and enjoy it. There's nothing wrong with an extra year. I think I'm best fit for this. I've always wanted to be more involved on campus. In the past 2 years I've been here, I haven't done as much as I would have liked to, so I'm hoping this will allow me to broaden my horizon and really make a difference. I love business. I'm really glad that I'm here. I'm an accounting major, and I've enjoyed every second of it. And a lot of people, when I tell them that I'm running for student government, they say, oh, that's going to be a great career builder. And I say, well, that's true, but I really want to help make a change. I want to help the student government. I want to help all the students here have a better experience and make sure it's excellent. And I think I'm going to be determined, and I'm going to accomplish a lot, and I hope to.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Next. Hi, Omi.
My name is Om Prakash Mogar, and I'm a accountant major, and I'll be graduating on fall 2020. So the reason I want to be at the SGA is when I see the SGA committee, I see SGA as just like the powerhouse for all the organizations and committees in the campus. So I feel like when I get into the SGA, I will get a lot of opportunities to build my leadership skills, and also I'll just get to know how the university system works. And on the top of all, I'll just want to be a bridge between those students who wants their voice to be heard, and I believe by myself that SGA is the right place to bring those problems in the table. And also, when I just started thinking about joining SGA, I think a lot about, okay, what I'm going to do, what my strengths will be, and I think a lot about that. And to me, when I see, just like around here, I can see different people with just like different physical structure and with a different viewpoint. So I think that when we gather, just like most of the people from the community, we get different knowledge, we get different ideas. So if we get one problem, then we have just like very, 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 very possible solutions for the problem. So as a member of SGA, we can just pick the best solution, which is going to be just like relevant to the problem that we are facing. And to me, being in the SGA is just like a dream. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Omi, I have a question for you. Now we're going to move into discussion.
Sure.
So will you tell me about a time in which you had to step up and be a leader?
Yeah.
Please, specifically if you're anything in your community.
So for me, being a leader is just like it's like a very productive thing. It's like you don't have to be a leader for just like a political part. You don't have to be a leader for any other just like the groups. If you just can manage just like a small soccer team, then you are a leader. If you can just like get what you want to be, then you are a good leader. So being a leader or being just like a human being for the social network, I personally did some kind of leadership skills when I was back in my country, Nepal. It was 2015, April 24, when earthquake hit my country, and it was so devastating, and a lot of people, they died. And I personally want to give back to the community where I belong. And I told my friend that I want to do some volunteer work, and they just said, no, you can't do. So I never just like dropped my dream, and I continue working, and we donated a lot of clothes, housing, food, and a lot of money as well to support the victim of the earthquake. So the point here is just like if I want to be a senator and if I want to just like solve a problem, so what should I do first is just like I will just like really know what the problem is and what are the obstacles for the problem. So I'll just like to find possible solutions. If I can't do by myself, I'll just get the help of my friends. If I can do, I'll do it. But if I can't do that one, then I'll just seek help where I can get the help from. Just like I can get the help from the members of SGA, I can get the help from my professors, my friends. So problem solving is just like a very big thing for me.
Thank you. Now I would like to open up the further questions. Senator McGinnis.
Senator McGinnis, Senator for Non-Traditional Students. Since your colleague just spoke about leadership, could you give me an example, Dalton, of a problem you see in your college and what you would do to fix it?
So a big thing for me, and I pointed out actually on my application, was I noticed a lot of people, they have troubles with commutes, or they have trouble with being able to go to all their classes, so they choose the online options, which are always great, and they have a lot of problems with them, or they can't decide which one to do. And a thing I experienced at other colleges and I noticed was they have things such as lecture capture, and it allows the professors opportunities to have their classes recorded to give these students the chance to be online, so they don't miss one class and then their grade drops, or they get attendance and they lose points off of things. And I think assignments or opportunities such as that are great for the students, and it allows them to not be so stressed out about if they had a personal emergency and a strict professor is going to tank their grade, stuff like that, which we've experienced.
Thank you. Any further questions? Senator Hussein?
Senator Hussein, Senator for American Minorities. This goes to both of you, either one of you, it doesn't matter. If you guys were elected, what is like one project that you have in mind for your specific college that you want to work on?
Maybe this one be for Omi, if you want.
So, if I'm elected in the SGA position as a senator, then the first thing in my mind is to just like go to the real world, go to the students, go to the communities, and just like find what are the main problems they're facing, and what can I do for that. And to me, being in a SGA is just like a very big dream, and I have a specific plan, just like what are my peoples are facing outside and what they want to change. So it is all about how I deliver the message of their problem to the specific decks. So I have just like the thinking, or just like ideas of connecting people and just like making the place more diverse. So that's all.
Does that answer your question? Yes. Okay. Any further questions? Anything from this side of the room? Executive board? No? Okay, may I ask you guys to step out? Thank you. Okay, so before we move into a vote, is there any further discussion? Senator McGinnis.
Senator McGinnis, my question is there one open position? Are we just approving one of them, or two, or how many seats are open?
Yeah, so there are 2 open positions, and so optimistically speaking, we will swear both of them in for those 2 positions. Does that answer your question? Yeah, Senator Hale.
Senator Hale, Coles College of Business. I just had a concern about one of the nominations that I'd like to discuss with the Senate, and take it as you will. Nomination Omi, the second, Omi Prakash, I believe his name is. He was supposed to be shadowing both of the Coles senators for the past month now, and we have not received any response from him. We've repeatedly reached out to him to no avail until prompted by President Keller. And I'm just concerned about communication issues with him. So take that as you will. Thank you.
I definitely want to validate that, because you will be working with the 2 of them. So I think that that's an important concern that you have raised. It was one that I was puzzled by when previous Senator Brand and Senator Hale brought it to my attention. Because when I would approach Omi, he would say kind things like, I am very thankful to become one of you. I look forward to serving my constituents and such. So I know on a personal level, like a leadership development, I'm invested in the Coles College of Business deeply. So I'd be happy to step in and maybe foster some sort of bonding event for the three of you to open that line of communication. So I don't really know if that helps. I do think that your concerns are valid. I honestly am not really sure how to fix it, you know? Senator McGinnis, other than like offering myself to help.
Senator McGinnis, Senator for Non-Traditional Students, it's not just the question I was handed. I actually had the same kind of question. How did you communicate with him in regards to shadowing? Was he emailed? How frequently did you email him? How many emails, I guess?
You want me to take it?
So he was supposed to primarily shadow Senator or former Senator Brand, and we discussed with him after an SGA meeting. We exchanged contact information. We assumed he was going to reach out to us, so we only gave him our contact information. We were not reached out to, so we received his contact information from President Keller, texted him a few times, no response, until we got President Keller to speak to him and get him to speak to us.
Yeah, Senator McGinnis.
My question is, did you ever try his student email? Did you ever try email? Because phones can be unreliable for some people, but I thought student email would be the primary method of communication.
So here, I'll just keep standing up. We did not have access to his email. We only had access to his phone number because that was the only contact information that we were given.
Senator McGinnis.
Well, I'll let Senator Benitez go.
Hi, Senator Benitez.
Senator for University College. So I want to ask you bluntly, do you feel comfortable with him serving beside you? Do you feel comfortable that he can kind of help lead your constituency with you? I mean, just being like really transparent here, like, do you see that being feasible?
So I'd like to leave that up to you guys slightly. From my experiences with him, I'm not sure that he might be as proactive or good at communication or good at being responsive as I would like, but also from what I've heard about his leadership skills and what he's done in resume type stuff, I think that he's a good candidate, but I'm not sure that he would be a good coworker, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, just from my perspective, I was pretty blown away. I mean, when they came to me this morning about it, I was like, what? Omi? You know? So I'm still kind of processing and learning too. So this is definitely open discussion for the Senate. Senator McGinnis.
If anyone else has anything to say, I'll let them go first.
You got it.
I'm just going to move right on down here so I don't keep stealing this mic. Senator McGinnis, we all know I talk too much. But my thing is, would you feel comfortable, I guess, kind of, we've all been new senators at one point or another. Would you be comfortable maybe if you set up a regular schedule with him and said, okay, let's look at our class schedules, let's meet at these times? Would you feel comfortable if he committed to that, if he was willing to commit to that?
If he was willing to commit to that, I am more than willing to work with him and give him a chance. That's why I just wanted to present this information to you guys so you guys can take it as you will. I am comfortable with working with him and trying to make it work, but I'm just hoping that he will be willing to make it work.
Yeah, Senator Ray.
So I'm just looking at it from this perspective. By the time our next meeting is going to be, it'd be the March the 13th. And people are swearing in April. By the time we have a new appointment, there wouldn't hardly be any time for them to do anything. And this guy's kind of running. He said he was running again for SGA. So I say, give him the shot, let him get his feet in the water, see how he does, and that way, going into the next one, if he gets the ball running now, he might be able to go into next year and just surprise all of us. So I say we give him a chance.
Yeah.
I believe it was Dalton, the other candidate who is running for Cole Senate again. I don't think Omi is running.
I do not think he has applied. I haven't spoken to him. I don't know. if he's applied or thought about coming back and asking the next president for an appointment. I don't know. Senator McGinnis, I do like your suggestion of a schedule. I think that he will work well with that. I really appreciate that recommendation. As I offered to you before, I will be as hands-on as you need me to be, Senator Hale, so you let me know, and I'll be happy to support. We have time for like maybe 2 more comments.
Senator McGinnis, Senator for Non-Traditional Students. I also am willing to offer, I've been both a college senator and now a commission senator. I've never been in the Coles College personally, but I know how both sides of the coin work. And I'm personally willing to help mentor him as well, because I think that it's good to have new senators. It's a challenge sometimes for existing senators who know how things work and you're ready to hit the ground running because you know the routine, you know your constituency, but we were all new once, and I'm also willing to step up and give him a mentoring.
I really appreciate that. Thank you. Secretary Tor.
Just to clarify, I did check, and it is Dalton who is running, so Omi is not.
Thank you. You were right about Dalton, though.
I just like one more comment. So just to comment on that, we did give him the opportunity to shadow Senator Brand, who's been senator of the Coles College for quite some while, or was senator of Coles College for a while there, and very great senator, and he did not take up that opportunity. So I am more than willing to mentor him. I just wanted to present this information, and take it as you will again. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Secretary Tor.
So I appreciate that you're presenting this information. I know you want to be nice about everything, but I just want to ask you, I guess, just straight up, like, do you feel comfortable with him being the appointee? And if you don't feel comfortable saying that, that's fine, but I think we all want to make sure that we appoint the right people, and you obviously know him better or have more experience with working with him or not working with him than we do. So we really value your opinion.
I guess just to be completely blunt, I am not necessarily comfortable with working with him, but I'm willing to hear your opinions and have an outside perspective on this, because I'm willing to work with him and willing to see the other side of this. I've had personal experiences with him that he's not great with communication, but he might turn out to be differently. He might be better with some mentoring and so on. So.
All right, we've got, okay.
I motion to vote on both of these candidates individually.
Okay, is there a second to motion on these? All right, everyone seconds that. Okay, all in favor? All opposed? All opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, this motion does pass. We're going to vote on them individually. Before we move into the next vote, is there any further discussion, Senator McGinnis? We've got time for one more.
Senator McGinnis, your opinion matters tremendously because this is someone you would be working with. So we don't want to disrespect you, so we appreciate your willingness to say, or at least I do, I can't speak for anybody else than myself, but I appreciate your willingness to say you're willing to either way. I also do wonder if you ask his preferred method of communication in the future, would that make a difference, I guess? Because you guys are trying your preferred methods, and it was I wonder if their schedules mixed, but in the end, it is ultimately going to be, I guess, the whole Senate's decision, and your decision as well makes a big impact.
I think what you should get from this is that we really support you.
So, sorry, I wasn't trying to be timid by saying that, just blatantly saying I'm uncomfortable with working with him. I just want to be open to the idea that he is different than I've perceived him in the past month. So, I mean, again, just like you said, he could just prefer a different method of communication. It could be a bunch of different things, but this is just my experience with him. And at this point, I'm not sure he would be the best candidate to serve the students.
Thank you. All right, are we ready to vote? Yeah? Okay, is there a motion on the floor to vote? Senator McGinnis.
I move to vote first on Dalton.
Okay. Is there a second to vote on Dalton first? All right, second by Senator Coakley. All in favor? All opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, we are voting on Dalton. All in favor for Delton to serve as the Coles College Senator? Okay, all opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you. This does pass. Dalton will be sworn in. Now we are moving to Omi. Okay. We don't need a motion. Okay. Yeah, it's okay. So all in favor of approving Omi as the new Coles College Senator? All opposed? Any abstentions? All right, this motion does pass. Omi will be sworn in. Again, Senator Hale, I will be at your side the entire time. Can you please let him in? Let's clap. Yay! Congratulations to both of you. Welcome to SGA. You will now be serving as the senator for Coles College of Business. So thank you. Let's get you sworn in. Come on. All right. You can stand next to me. Raise your right hand. I state your full name. Do solemnly promise to uphold the Constitution of the student government of Kennesaw State University and to faithfully execute the office of I pledge to represent the interest of students over my own self-interest in matters concerning the organization. I will make every effort to be available to listen to concerns of students and to respond to those concerns as I seek to carry out my duties. Congratulations. Please join Senator Hale at the table. Thank you. Wow, that's how the table just got full. Okay, so is there anything further for new business? Seeing that no resolutions are being presented. Now we are going to move into announcements. So announcements are a time for the audience and the Senate to bring up any like non-SGA related. This is also questions for the audience for the Senate. This is a time for you guys to brief all of us about what's going on outside of SGA. So is there anything for announcements? Yes, Senator Hussein.
Senator Hussein. So the Muslim Student Association here on campus is holding a Ask a Muslim a Question, Get a Donut event. This has been really
awesome.
Successful in the past, honestly. So you get a free donut. All you have to do is ask a question. This is going to be held next Thursday, March 7th. You guys can write this down if you want. Next Thursday, March 7th. It's going to be in the Social Science Atrium from 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. And then another thing that majority of students here love is henna. So we're going to be doing free henna. Those are the temporary tattoos in case anybody doesn't know. So I look forward to seeing you guys there. I'll be there the entire time. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Does anybody have questions?
Okay. Squatting. Okay. Hey, Coakley.
Senator Coakley, just a quick thing. Our motorsports team will be hosting an invitational March 9th. It's like 9 a.m. until, so be there, be square.
Awesome. I've actually got something for announcements I don't want to forget. All Majors Job and Internship Fair is March 30th from 12 to 4 in the Rec Center. That's like the big career fair. I will try to remember to drop this in the group me. Go. And another one I'll get to is the JCPenney Suit Up event. That is Sunday, March 10th from 5 to 9. So something that the Department of Career Planning and Development wanted me to like highlight is that you get an extra 40% off. So say that something's already 30% off, you get an extra 40% off from 5 to 9 at the Town Center Mall in JCPenney. That's my ad announcement, career planning to service. So, Senator Benitez.
Senator for University College. The orientation office is actually accepting donations for different school supplies for the Habitat for Humanity. They're going to a conference on March 14th. So if you guys want to donate, that would be really nice. You can drop them off at the orientation office, or if you want to give them to me, I'll make sure they get there. I think it'd be really cool if we had some like SGA involvement with that, like have some of y'all do that. Yeah, but we're accepting donations until the 13th. So also be on the lookout for an event that SGA is partnering with them. Upon hearing your event for March 7th that night, I might do some rescheduling because it was for that night. But I'll let y'all know. I'll be on the lookout for a flyer.
What supplies are you asking for in the donation?
Just a bunch of like school supplies. I can
Okay.
drop the list
Okay.
of specifically what we're asking for in the group me.
That'd be great. Thank you. Let's go to Director Watkins behind you.
Hi, y'all. So I work with the Department of Career Planning and Development that Carly's been talking about. Really quickly about this sit-up event, if a lot of people don't go and it's not very popular and successful, then they'll stop it because then JCPenney will be losing money. So on top of it being a great opportunity for students to go and get business professional or business casual attire, just like go or we won't have it anymore. In line with that, I wanted to talk to you about some of the other things that the department has. So online, they also have the printout version of it. It's called a personal branding guide, and it's really beneficial for your four-year plan, resume writing, and cover letters. Also, if you need some assistance and can't necessarily do it on your own, they have one-on-one meetings in which you can practice interviewing. They can help you with your resume formatting and then also with your cover letter. I know a lot of people, whether or not you're an upperclassman, these are things that you need so that you can be ready for the professional world. Also, I know there's speculation about the quality of advising. So CPD does a really good job of helping you plan for the future. And then lastly, how many of y'all are familiar with Handshake? Cool. Yeah, y'all should all be familiar with Handshake. It's a really awesome app. It gives you information about different job and internship listings that are in the area as well as across the country, and there are even a couple of them that are international. It's updated every day, and there are thousands of listings in all of the majors, so you can't ever say that there was nothing for you, because there's always something for you. And through Handshake, you can schedule appointments with a CPD advisor to help with mock interviewing or resume writing or whatever you might need.
Thank you, Director Watkins. Is there anything else for announcements? I mess your last name up every time. Alfali, I'm going to practice it.
Senator Alfali for the College of Architecture and Construction Management. So there is an organization called American Institute for Architecture Students. They are going to be having an event. It's a napkin sketch silent auction. It's a pretty chill event. It's really cool. What happens is we get different artists or architects to sketch on napkins. We frame the napkins, and then we silent auction them off for a scholarship for a student who passed away in our department. The event is going to be on March 12th at 7 p.m. in Ponce City Market. So it's a really cool venue as well. Tickets, I'll be selling tickets for anyone that's interested. Just please contact me. I would love to see anyone from SGA over there to show architecture students that we exist and we want to help, because a lot of us are unaware. Yeah, sadly. But yeah, thank you.
Okay. Anything further for announcements before I turn it to the audience? Hi, Senator Rumba.
Hi everyone, Senator Rumba. I just want to give you all a couple of dates real quick for the college lecture series that the Wellstar College is still continuing to host. The ones for March are March 18th at 12:30 to 1:30 in room 2206, so that would be Pilliman Hall, and then March 27th at from 12 to 1 in room 2010. So those are really great experiences, and I think you can just take a break from school, all the stress, and just learn something really cool and interesting from really interesting people and professors and things like that. So hope you can join. Thanks.
That sounds fun. Okay, anything else? Senator Ryan?
Senator Rahman, we've got no shortage of fun events coming up in the next few weeks. I'd like to add one more to your agenda if you'd like to. The Atlanta Science Festival starts next week and runs through March. And although Kennesaw is not hosting it, part of the hosting this year, there are a lot of professors who will be hosting panels and things at the event. One panel you guys might like is on March 14th. It's a Thursday evening called Science Riot. Leave your pitchforks at home. It's not an actual riot. But it's basically a stand-up comedy for scientists who want to come around from around state and want to do some stand-up comedy in a comedy club. I think it's actually also in Ponce Land Market, so I'll have to check the location on that one. So if you want to hear some brilliant people make some hilarious jokes, feel free to block out your evening, come on out, and have some fun, because comedy is just laughter and learning in a different flavor. Thank you.
I love it. Senator Coakley, and then I'm gonna.
Senator Coakley, one last thing, I promise. We're looking to, or the College of Engineering and Engineering Technology is looking to host an event in which the dean will come out, department heads will come out, professors will come out, they all come out, and they'll be there for students to ask questions, basically. It'll be like an open forum where students can ask questions of the dean and the department heads, stuff like that. So be there too, March 19th or March 21st.
Awesome. I love hearing all these events. Now I want to turn it to the audience. And I'm sorry to those senators that did not get to make their announcement. Please drop it in the group me. I'll favorite it because it's awesome, but I want to turn to the audience. They can speak to us for the next 15 minutes. Please introduce yourselves. Hi.
Thank you so much for inviting us. I'm Alexa Vaca. We're KS United, and we got invited by the president of SGA as well as Senator Coakley because we have some demands that we've been fighting for since 2015. Carlin and Priscilla are alumni members who have been fighting for these demands since 2015 to address the racist environment on the campus. So, you know, these town halls are great and we get to hear student concerns, but we have the solutions here. And the president and the last 3 administrations of KSU has had these demands on the table, and they have promised these demands. One of them, the Anti-Racist Education Center, was promised over 10 years ago and still has not happened. And so we know that these are the solutions, and we are demanding that the university implement these things, such as strict sanctions and repercussions added to the school policy for offenders of racist actions. This racist environment continues because no one is held accountable, because the policies on the books do not have any consequences for students who commit racist acts, such as what happened with Elijah John, which the university administration is not being transparent about, and they are not telling us what's going on and what's going on with the investigation. Elijah John is feeling very unprotected by the university. So I feel that SGA, as representative of students, and as we heard in the pledge saying that you are here to represent the interests of the students. So we as KS United are asking for you all to understand how we have the solutions and we have these demands to fix these problems. And so also Carlin wanted to say something as well.
Hi, my name's Carlin Sharpe-Wee. I graduated in 2015 from Kennesaw, and I'm back as a graduate student. In 2015, Priscilla and I and fellow student activists came before SGA and asked for their support on these demands, and they did not choose to support us. For years now, students have been allowed to act and use hate speech. They've been allowed to perform acts and speech having to do with racism, Islamophobia, transphobia, prejudice against the LGBT community, etc. And there are no sanctions, no set sanctions on the books for violating the Student Code of Conduct or the OWL Creed. So it is imperative that alumni be involved in this conversation so that their voices are included, because there are several of us that face prejudice on this campus ourselves, and also have been fighting for these changes for years. And so I would really like if you would involve KS United in the events that you're having to address these issues. But also, I think it's really important to say that every time one of these instances of discrimination pops up and we share it on social media and we host a town hall and we invite students to use their voices and come out, we have to follow that up with policy change. And that's why KS United has formed, because there are faculty and staff as well who, especially in the wake of the Olens administration, are feeling extremely vulnerable and like they can't use their voice to push for these policy changes that they know are necessary, due to the disempowerment and the silencing tactics that President Olens used and that are still kind of left in the wake of his administration. And KS United is a anonymous voice for faculty and staff as well as alumni. And so I think it's extremely important that y'all understand that we consist of students, faculty, staff, alumni, and community members such as the Cobb SCLC. So if y'all are not willing to help us, we're gonna push for these demands anyway. But I really hope that you understand that as members of SGA, it's in your best interest as well as the interest of the university that we put these sanctions in place and that we correct the wrongdoings of the former administrations in breaking these promises to students.
So to add on to that, we would also like that if SGA wants to do something and act as a group of people who are here to represent the students and to fight against this climate, because I think that you all do want to care and protect the students. So I think it would be a good idea, and we are asking that SGA comes together and puts out a statement saying that you all condemn the hate that's going on the campus. And I think that that would really show that SGA does have the best interests of the students, because historically SGA has been a little bit separate from students. So this would be a way to show that you are really truly in solidarity in protecting the students and changing the climate. So simply a statement just like the chairs of the College of Humanities and Social Sciences just got together and released a statement. I think that a simple statement showing that you guys are in solidarity and against this racist climate, that would show you guys are really working for the students.
I just want to reiterate, as an alumni of Kennesaw, this is something that we have been working on for years. And considering that these demands were created in 2015 and now here we are in 2019 still discussing the same things, shows that Kennesaw has not taken any responsibility. So if you guys are supposed to be the representatives of your students, it's definitely imperative that you also consider all of your students. There are a lot of students from different intersections who feel concerned and they don't feel comfortable. And as people who are supposed to represent those students, it's your job to also put those people in the forefront. So again, as people who have been doing this since 2015, we had to work with our people, our SGA people at the time. We're asking you guys to work with the people we have on campus. They reached out to us because it's like, okay, we've started it, so how can we continue the work? You guys are paying the money for this campus, so it's like, why don't you guys actually use the resources? Why don't you guys use your power for something that's good?
Thank y'all so much. And yeah, any questions?
Yeah, let's start with Cinder Ray.
So, given with some of these situations, like we've seen some of them occur, and they are horrible, and it's just. But so going into that, with Kennesaw being a state university, what repercussions are y'all wanting to see? Because with a bunch of them, they're not able to do because they are at a state university. Now, if it was a private university, that would be a different situation. But if there were certain repercussions, which, you know, laws are always, But like, if they were to violate somebody's First Amendment rights, they could have a play day with the university systems going through laws and sue the university for all of our tuition times. So, what are like some of the things y'all want to see?
So for one thing I want to say is hate speech. Sorry. Hate speech isn't first, like, that's not free speech. There's a difference between being able, I guess, to state your opinion, which is fair. You know, no one's saying we want people to not be able to say how you feel, but that shouldn't affect other people and their safety on campus. And I think that's something that we were also talking about. Also, I understand what you're saying with the repercussions and like what can we even do as Kennesaw. We're not necessarily saying we want people to be punished. It's more so we need to create policy so this type of action is shown, like it's already noted that this is not accepted. This campus should be very blatant, and they should be able to say, we don't accept this type of behavior from our students.
And then to further answer your question, if the university were to adopt a policy which defined what hate speech is and also defined what kind of speech incites violence, I think that would be a good starting point for drawing a line between what is free speech and what is inciting violence and what is hate speech.
And I also think it's important that we note how interesting it is that there's more repercussions for people who cheat or anything like that than people who threaten someone's life and threaten to kill them, like what happened with Elijah John. So I think that if we want to be on the right side of history, that this is an important thing to stand behind, because you know, we don't want to be the school that punishes people who cheat, but lets people who threaten others' lives go unpunished.
And I would just to add to that, with our Campus Carrying Act, with what would happen to Elijah, if there was a lot of hate going on and racial tension, someone could go on campus and go and shoot people, because we are allowed to have weapons. So I don't think we're putting in policy for things that could occur in the worst situations with students. I personally don't feel safe sometimes, because I'm like, if someone just didn't like me from seeing with that, they could just go and insinuate violence on campus. And just if they didn't like a Muslim, a black person, someone who's trans or LGBT, they could just be like, well, today I just want to go shoot this person. And because it's allowed on campus, obviously murder is not allowed, but being able to get to that place is appropriate on campus.
I think we actually have a question from the audience. Yeah, come on up.
Sorry, I was just trying to give you guys enough time too, but I do know that this ends around 9, and I just had a different concern apart from that, so I'm sorry if like I'm changing the subject really.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. I'm going to respond real quick, and then I'll open. I'm sorry. So thank you for coming.
Thanks. Sorry.
Stay there. Don't leave. I'm so glad you're here. Vanessa told me about you. I'm excited. First of all, I am just in awe of you standing in front of me. I know a few of you I met at the co-ord meeting. I'm humbled by you being here. When I saw you walk in the door, I wanted to do a cartwheel, because that is why SGA is here, is to hear you. Sorry, moving the table. I'm so excited. So I do want to stay in contact. I want to get you guys on the events that we're doing next week with ASA and all the other student organizations that we've reached out to, because there are meetings with administration that are transpiring from those events. So when I get your contact information. I think I have yours, Alexa, and I've got yours, Justice, to get you guys in. I know we're having a meeting on Friday. Get you in there so we can talk more about how these events can prosper love, because that's one thing that we are looking to spread is love and not hate. So let's get on board and meet after the meeting and get you guys in on that so we can get started.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
And just wanted to reiterate, if y'all we would really like y'all to think about how you can come together and put a statement condemning the hate, because I think that that would really show how you represent the students.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Hi.
Hi.
I'm excited you're here.
My name is Melissa Iniestra. This is my first time coming to one of these meetings, and it was kind of like a last minute thing too, that I had today. I think I came over to y'all's office to press the concern, but I wanted it to be heard by everyone, just because I feel like the more people are involved, the better, because I think it is an issue that affects literally every student. My issue was, for example, so I was doing financial aid with RPG program, and one of the issues that I had was, so for example, everyone fills out one form for KSU for scholarships, and they give out a list of the scholarships, but not necessarily like requirements for, I guess there's not enough guidelines as to who gets the scholarships and how you can actually be represented in the scholarships. Like for example, I received scholarships for the RPG program. It's called the Gosueta Scholarship. And in order to get that scholarship, you have to explicitly say that you are in the RPG program. And for example, I'm a computer science major, but I am not eligible. I feel like I'm not sure if I'm eligible for STEM scholarships just because KSU doesn't allow, because technically I'm undeclared, because Kennesaw doesn't allow me to declare as my major until I've finished programming principles 2. And there's no like sub thing like exploring computer science. There's no really like set way. I think they just recently started doing something like that, but I am still not included in it. And so I think that's a really big concern, because then it's like I'm missing out on scholarships that still do pertain to my majors, because I'm taking classes now. Like I've already taken all of my core classes. I'm taking classes that pertain to the major computer science, but I'm not able to get scholarship funds for it, and I think that's kind of unfair. And then that also brought up the question as to, okay, let me look at the scholarships, and when I went to go look at them, it didn't really tell me how I could be eligible for them in any shape or form. And I'm also concerned as to who oversees the scholarships specifically as well. Just really quickly, just one more thing. For example, I have a source who is actually in one of the committees. I can't specify anything, obviously, but like for example, she's in the committee and she has concerns about it. But the thing is that apparently, like the committee needed to choose 10 students. They picked 15 for this person to oversee, and the person chose actually 11 students. And one of the students, they did not know how they got into the list. So it's kind of like I'm concerned about who's overseeing the scholarship funding for everyone.
So I'm talking with my Director of Academic Affairs as you're speaking, and we can talk after the meeting too for the sake of time. But definitely thank you for putting it on our radar, and let's chat after the meeting and kind of see who we can look at the book of faculty of who we can talk to about it.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah. We've got like a minute. Senator Coakley.
Senator Coakley, I just want to say I agree with you 100% on the fact that our scholarship system, in terms of searching and seeing what you're eligible for, is like horrible and stuff. But pro tip: if you go to like every college's websites, like Southern Poly or College of Engineering or College of Business or whatever, you can see the scholarships that they offer in their guidelines. That's just a small thing that might help.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah,
That
let's
probably
all,
helps.
for those of us that have questions and comments for Melissa, let's chat after the meeting. But for the sake of time, thank you. Thank you. We've got to adjourn. We are out of time. Can we talk after?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Sure.
You're always more than welcome to come back. Yeah, Senator Coakley?
Senator Coakley, I move to extend the meeting by 8 minutes.
Okay. There is now a motion on the floor to extend the meeting by 8 minutes. Is there a second? Senator McGinnis, all in favor? All opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, 8 minutes. What's up, Justin?
I appreciate your support there. So there are a couple of things that came to my attention in recent months and today, as my constituents from KSU United have spoken on. Elijah's case against Levi Smith here at the university has been left in ambiguous terms, to say the least. There's a lot of ambiguity. And so all I was asking is that for your help. I'm here asking for your help today to make sure that there's an update at some point in the near future so that we know what's going on. And if you could help apply that pressure where it needs to be. Thank you. Sorry, I project my voice. It's a thing I do. And then I also wanted to make sure that Leo S. Smith could not come back to Kennesaw State by submitting a formal complaint that will result in an investigation. And then I hope that the results of that investigation closes the case, and that data is spread across the university system of Georgia so that he can no longer attend university inside of the state of Georgia. And then also, I wanted to know if we could figure out who the investigator would be as a point of contact on this case. We've yet to have that information provided. A second topic, I'm going to go through this quickly because I only have 8 minutes. Did we get the Core Ed presentation from the Core Ed conference? And if so, would we be able to disseminate that information to students? Because there are highly important resources in there for them, such as the University System of Georgia Ethics and Compliance Hotline numbers in there, along with multiple websites and things so that we can have our voice heard. Okay, so that's the second point. And then I just wanted to know, okay, so these are two directed questions. The first directed question is at Senator Hussein. I wanted to know why you left the GroupMe for the town hall.
Senator Hussein, Director Matthew Weiss and I attended the town hall meeting, and he requested me to ask Elijah to add us to that because we felt that as a part of SGA we should represent with KSU United. However, upon joining the group, we both noticed that there was only 19 or 18 members. We thought it would be a lot more, and then it was just the way that you guys were speaking in there. We both agreed that it would be best for us to leave. We want to help, however, because we are a part of SGA, there's a certain way that we have to go about things, and everything has to be presented in a proper manner. We wouldn't want to lose our positions to something that we're not really a part of. Like I said, we are here to help you. I want to help you. I just have to do it a certain proper way.
I understand that, and I appreciate you being at the event and doing what you can. And I hope that we continue those conversations later. And then I also wanted to, this is a question addressed at Senator DeLead from the Marietta campus. So I hear that you want to change some bylaws here in SGA. Now,
Wait,
would you be willing to?
Who are you addressing?
Oh, sorry.
Treasurer Har.
Treasurer Har. Sorry, my apologies. I was misinformed.
No problem.
I just wanted to see if you were willing to work together to create a student government association bylaw and policy for discrimination in its current phase here, so that we can start the initiation process and have it transcend outward.
Yep. So you asked the right person. Today I was voted into the governance committee, which a small part of that committee's responsibilities is constitutional review. However, this semester, President Keller, along with Director Burleson Williams, actually created an entire committee. Sole purpose was to look at the Constitution and bylaws. But luckily, I'm also part of that committee as well. So I would be more than happy to. We've been looking at other student government associations from the University of Georgia to Georgia Tech to Georgia State, which I feel are, especially Georgia State, is more similar to us in our composition of students. And I think that looking at what they do to ensure the safety and of the students is something that we could look at and implement here. So I would love to implement discrimination policies in our bylaws because I think that that's important.
Well, I would just like to nominate our lead over here, Alexa, to act as a liaison for KSU United in that.
I actually reached out to Alexa on Facebook, and we've known each other for quite some time now.
Sorry.
But thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'd actually like to respond to a few of your comments, if that's okay. May I have FERPA, please? So I know that in the co-ord meeting we talked about FERPA and why this sparked kind of our executive treasurer Har passed it to me so I could answer to. I know in the beginning it is 9:08. I'm gonna speak real fast. So what sparked this is that you were asking specifically about the investigation. You wanted more information. You want to know what's going on, and I can speak for a lot of students saying that we're with you in that. A lot of people are feeling the way that you do. And however, as Senator Ray alluded, like explicitly stated, the university is part of the University Systems of Georgia. So I know you know this, they respond to the Board of Regents. So there are many, many things that go into this type of process. So if you could help us educate the students that the university is representing them the best way that they can as far as FERPA goes. And the students want the university to represent them well with FERPA because so for example, Family and Educational Rights and Privacy Act of 1974, it governs the access to educational information and records pertaining to students at school. So the university cannot violate this law. That's why we can't get specific information. But what SGA is doing is hosting events like we are next week to promote the expression of love and promote the expression of unity, to try to help further the gap as much as we can. But we are all tied to FERPA. So we feel you in the fact that a lot of us do want answers, but we also are tied just like the university. Like none of us know anything either, you know?
So really quick,
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask, does FERPA apply to investigators' conduct?
Yes. It's all of it. And I will check with my advisor, Ron. It's okay. For FERPA, does it also say that we can't know who the investigator is for the case? Yeah. Yeah. Sealed. You know what I mean? So it's not available, sealed. Yeah.
But would the actual person, like the victim, be able to have contact with the investigator?
So in this case, if Elijah wanted to go to the police or the Office of Institutional Equity or Student Conduct, then he has the right to ask. But again, they're not gonna. There's no information that they can provide that is not directory information. That's because it's protected information by FERPA.
Yeah, which we all.
So again, even if he, as the complainant in this case, pressed the question, there's still laws protecting that information.
So I guess if an investigator, wouldn't they have to reach out to him to get the story right?
So I'm gonna interrupt for the sake of time. Just set up a meeting with whoever you feel would be best to answer your questions. And Ron's awesome in this. We want to educate as many students how this process goes, so you can educate your friends and get everybody talking about what's actually going on. Okay, so thank you for being here.
And I just wanted to say that I appreciate every single one of you senators here today. It was not so long ago I was in your seats. Your voices can make a difference, and I appreciate your support.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. So now, yeah, thanks. I was like clapping with my arm. Beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, it is like way past our bedtime. But I have really enjoyed each and every one of you tonight. Thank you to our audience member who came. Is there a motion on the floor to adjourn the meeting? All new people see Director Watkins. Is there a motion on the floor to approve the meeting? Motion by Senator Coakley, seconded by Senator Benitez. All in favor? Show me. All opposed? Any abstentions? This motion just passed. I will see you after the meeting.